Can everybody see the presentation?
It is something wrong with my audio. I cannot hear anything, or nobody says anything.
Unmute.
It looks like he's unmuted.
I think so. Some of you can hear us, right?
Yes, we can hear.
Okay, so maybe Cyrus, if you go to there's a little up arrow next to your microphone. You might need to switch your speaker to a different speaker source if you can't. Right. Oh, but he's saying you can't hear me. I'll type it in the chat.
I don't hear anything at all.
Bree, one time it happened to me. I don't know why the volume on my computer was like very low, and and my students were like I wasn't hearing my students. So then after I finished the session, I noticed that the volume was low. So maybe he has the same issue. I don't know.
Okay, I am typing both of those in the chat. Hopefully one of those solutions will work. Thank you for that. Okay, well, thank you everyone for coming and joining us on our first day of Flex. My name is Bree Brown and I'm here with Frank Moore, our instructional designer. And today we're going to be presenting on accessibility in Canvas, PowerPoint, Word, and PDF. So thank you very much again for joining us, and Frank will go ahead and take it away.
Okay. And everybody, oops, everybody can see the presentation now, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes, good.
Yes.
Second. I'm not having difficulties. I'm just trying to get back to my notes. Now, let me
Frank,
ask
would you prefer that I share the slides so that you can look at your notes?
No, I can do that. But if I start this presentation, I don't want to see the notes on the other monitor. I was wondering if there's a setting for that. Oh, get rid of that. Okay, there we go.
Oh, perfect.
I'm ready. Sorry about that. Okay, so accessibility, you know, that's going to be very important coming up for everybody, especially because we're online. And we're going to go over Canvas, PowerPoint, Word, and PDF. And let me go to the next one. Your outcomes. You're going to be able to define accessibility, explain what's required and in public education, how it supports the students. And hopefully you're going to be able to apply techniques to make your, you know, your documentation more accessible. You know, plus we have some requests. If you can mute yourself unless you have a question, that would be great so we don't hear background noise. But feel free to chat or unmute at any time. And, you know, we'll pause occasionally for some questions as we go along. Okay, so what is accessibility? It's you're helping to accommodate individuals who have a visual, auditory, physical, or neurological disability. And, you know, it helps all users to benefit, ESL students, vets, elderly, you know, the hearing impaired, the vision impaired, mobility and cognitive. So there's different things you have to do for accessibility for all these populations. And of course, it's going to support equity and success. So what is required for education? The learning materials and assignments must be accessible, or you must provide an equivalent. So this is true for any of your materials, anything curated by you or provided by a publisher. So anything you're using in your class needs to be accessible. And I have some links down here, and this presentation is going to be available on inside of Canvas. So you'll be able to get to these links and this entire presentation, you know, once we're through. I'm going to, it should be uploaded now, the current presentation, but I'm going to upload more information after this presentation. So we have overview and guidelines about accessibility on our Acquia Maca website. A lot of good information for you there. And then we have the CBC course design rubric, which you should follow. And that is also online. And you can download it here. And so there's great information for that. And I also added this WebAIM website. WebAIM has some really good things, and we'll see WebAIM again, but it's got a lot of information on web accessibility. So this will be a great resource for you. Okay, the biggies. Video, if you have video, you need captions. If you have audio, you need a transcript. And your text in your documentation needs to be formatted in a way that works with screen reader software that reads pages aloud. And the text, that includes the heading styles, lists, links, color contrast, and color and meaning, and links with meaningful text. So, and then PDF text needs to be searchable. You can't upload an image of a document and have it be accessible. That's not going to work. So you have to have the PDF itself up there that's been, checked for accessibility, or, Word docs or anything else. And all your images on your pages need alternative text, because, with screen readers, you don't want it to just say image 1 when the screen reader gets to it. That's not going to work for, somebody that can't really see very well.
Frank,
Yeah.
I think that's incorrect. Images that are meaningful need alternative text, but images that are just decorative do not need alternative text.
Yes.
Right. Yeah, we were going to get to that later on, but you're correct.
Okay, thank you.
There's a way inside Canvas you can mark and say this image is a decoration, and then the screen readers will know to skip over it. We'll see that later. Good point. That's a good point. Okay. Accessibility rubric, criteria, and guides. We've already seen that link down here below. It's here again. And first, we'll go to heading styles. Now, heading styles, if you know anything about HTML, you'll have an H1 heading, which would be, H1 heading will be like the largest text on your screen, like where we see up top, D1 heading styles. That could be a H1 heading. And then an H2 heading would be a lower level heading, and the text usually would look smaller than the H1 heading, and all the way down. And you see the hierarchy below. And I've included, let's see, the screen reader user experience using headings. Let me bring this up real quick. This is going to talk about the user experience, and it's something for you. It's something for you to watch later on. It's going to explain this a lot better. And this YouTube video is going to be referred to later on as well for other items, but it's going to tell you where you can forward to pick up that information. All right, so, and also with the heading levels, you don't want to use fonts, colors, and formats, like bolds or italics in lieu of heading styles. It's not good practice. Okay, headings in Canvas. You can use the paragraph drop-down menu in the RCE to set your headers. See if I have my Canvas over here. All right, just let me edit this page real quick here. Right here. So you can change your headings or make it a paragraph or whatever you want. So that's where it is. And in Word, and we're gonna do a little bit in Word a little bit later, but the same thing. When you're in Word, you have all of these styles that you can call, different headers down here. So what you would do is, is highlight these items down here and then choose what format you want up above. And there's also a good link here, Microsoft, add a heading that talks exactly about that and has a video and shows you what to do. All right, lists are the same thing. They have to be created using a bullet or numbered list tool instead of being formatted manually, so that lists are recognized when using a screen reader. What that means is you don't want to go into your document and type 1 period and then some content and then hit enter and hit 2 period and enter content and like create this manual list. You can do it and you can create it that way, but it's not going to be picked up by a screen reader. So it's better just to use the list tool that you see on the right-hand side over here. And same thing like in Canvas, I showed you the Canvas view where the paragraph was, and the headings over on the left. So on the right side, there are the bulleted lists, and they also have the numbers down there if you want numbers instead of bullets. Links. So links should be identified with meaningful and unique text instead of displaying the URL. So, and this is that video from before, the screen reader's experience with links, and it says, I go back real quick, begin at 2:54. So if you come into this video and you go up to about 2:54, right? It's going to start the content that matches this information. So that's a great resource right there. So just go to the video and begin at 2:54. So here's a couple of examples of a bad link. You don't want to have a link that says something like click here. A screen reader, that's not very informative. It's not very intuitive. You'd rather want something like the second example, which the link is named Web Aim Accessibility Guides for Microsoft Word. So then the screen reader and the reader that's using it, the user that's using the screen reader will know exactly what that link is for. So, and that is also all about Word and making Word accessible. So that's another great resource. Okay, tables. Column and row header cells are designed so that screen readers can read the table cells in the correct order. Now, I know this applies for English. I don't know about other languages. I don't know how that works. But if you want to use tables in a different language, it would be good to research the question to find out what a screen reader is going to do in your particular language. But at least in English, the tables make sense when read from left to right and top to bottom. And table captions should be included for more complex tables. You want, if you have a complex table, you definitely want the screen reader to be able to understand what it is that's being shown. And accessibility checkers can help you set the headings for the top row, the left column, or both. But best practices are to keep the table simple, avoid nested tables, avoid splitting or merging cells, and keep heading labels short and descriptive. It's always a best practice. Okay. Color contrast. So make sure there's sufficient color contrast between the foreground and the text and the background to avoid difficulties for students with low vision. As you can see, some of these colors, like the teal on the black on the right side, is not that clear and it might not pass an accessibility checker. And there's going to be a link in our references to an accessibility checker that's going to evaluate, 2 different colors to tell you whether it's accessible or not. So we'll see that later. And then you're not supposed to use color as the only means of conveying information or adding emphasis or indicating action or otherwise distinguishing a visual element. Like some people that are colorblind, one of the most common colors is red. and they see it as a gray. So, you know, if you've got red on gray, you know, that's a big problem, right? So, or if you say, look for the red text, and, you know, that's what you want to see, then they're going to be lost. So like in this example here, we have 3 boxes basically at the bottom of the screen. The first one shows name in red, which if you can't see red, that's a problem for you. The second one, the name field is a little bit lighter text, and it's, you know, it's emphasizing name. That's, you know, a lot of people are not going to be able to see that. Then on the third one, you know, it's a non-color cue. It happens to be in red. This star character happens to be in red, but that's just so you can see it. But with a star character, screen readers and most people are going to be able to pick that up. So the third example is a lot better at this. Okay, sorry. I had my mouse out of whack. Okay, so like I said, a non-color cue, that would be best. Now look at this aim contrast checker. Now this is a great resource here. If you have 2 colors, you have this is your text color, this foreground, and then your background is white. If you move this slider back and forth, you can see how it fails accessibility, right? So then, you know, if you wanted to check your text on, you know, a slide or something, and you have this color, all you got to do is pop the 2 colors in here, and you could take a look. And then if it fails, you can move it. And some is passed, some is not. Okay, they all passed. So this is a pretty good color. So I think I will grab this and copy it and change my text to that color. So this tool right here is really handy. All right. Images. Images must have appropriate alternative text, unless, of course, like it's been mentioned before, unless it's decorative. And your alternative text shouldn't contain image of or picture of or the file name or the file extension. And we'll see that in a moment. And also that same video that we looked at before, beginning at 155, talks about the screen reader's user's experience with images. So that will explain this in more detail. And then reading order, of course, must be correct so that the content is presented in the proper sequence when using screen readers and other assistive technologies. So you don't want to, for instance, you don't want to use a table provided by somebody else that you did not create unless you check its reading order. And Bree, you sent the PDF.
Yeah, I just put the PDF of the presentation in the chat for people to be able to access those resources.
Okay, that would be great. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see. Do we have anything else in the chat that we should answer at this point?
No, I've been monitoring it. I haven't seen any questions yet, but we can certainly pause and see if there are any questions so far.
Right. Anybody have any questions so far? Okay. So let's move forward. Let's see. Reading order, of course. Slides. PowerPoint has built-in accessible slide layouts that you can use. And, you know, if you have other ways of making slides, it might include something like that too. And there's some great links here on PowerPoint presentation accessibility and WebAIM PowerPoint accessibility. And those are great resources. Let me click on that one. Make your PowerPoint presentations accessible. And there's a ton of information on that one. And the WebAIM one is pretty good too. So those are available to you. All text must be visible in outline view so that it can be read by assistive technology. So you're inside of PowerPoint, and you have your slides as normal, then you just click on outline view so you can see all the text and everything. That'll help you. Spreadsheets must include labels for the rows and columns, detailed labels for charts, and have textual descriptions that draw attention to anything you want to point out, key cells, trans totals, any kind of information that you want them, that's very important for them to note. And of course, Microsoft has a great web page to make your Excel documents accessible to people with disabilities. All right, so accessibility checkers. And all the software we're talking about today, like Word and Adobe, PowerPoint, and Canvas have built-in accessibility checkers that's available in the software. So let's first start with Word and PowerPoint. Now, as you see on this menu bar, the accessibility checker button is usually found in the review tab. But what you can find is that it's not there and you don't know where it is. So what you can do is you can right click on your ribbon, select customize the ribbon, and choose commands from all commands, and then select the accessibility checker. So let me go 1 second here.
It looks like Lamia has a question.
Okay.
The file that you shared, when I clicked on it, it says not accessible or not, doesn't exist. Probably it is might be just me. I'm not sure about our faculty.
Oh, thank you for letting me know. I will also upload the PowerPoint version and see if that works better.
Thank you.
You have to save it first.
Was that me, or if you're trying to access it in the chat?
I just clicked on the link that you shared in the chat, and
Oh yeah,
it does not exist.
Right. You click on it and then you save it. And I saved it in my local PC, and it's right here.
Right. You have to save it first before you open it. I have got a question.
yes.
And regarding that, but when I do have multiple courses using the same PowerPoint, and instead of me, every time what I do is I create the PowerPoint and bring it and then upload it to the files, and then from there I go and insert that to my either in the format of the announcement or in the format or the assignments, so the student can have that. Now, it's a little bit of pain because I have to do it every time for every class. So is it and I'm sure there is, but I do not know how I can have one file, have it done to the canvas, so then I can multiply copy paste in different courses.
So that's a great question. You're talking about being able to access a file across multiple courses, correct?
Correct. Yes.
So there's a couple different things you can do. The first is, well, I'll say kind of as a blanket statement, you can't do that. The courses don't really talk to each other as far as files are concerned. So to fix that, if you're teaching 2 or more of the same course, like English 100, and you have multiple sections of the same course,
different time.
I'm sorry?
Different time.
Are you teaching synchronously?
Or asynchronous.
So if you're teaching asynchronously and
Right.
there's no scheduled times, and you're teaching more than one of the same class,
Mhm.
we can merge those Canvas shells together so that you
Uh-huh.
only have to manage one shell, and that way
Uh-huh.
you don't have that crossing, the file crossing problem. If you're teaching synchronously, then you don't want to do that, because then your due dates and things will all be different for the
Okay.
different classes. The other thing you can do is you can send yourself the page that you're working on. So if you're working on a page with a PowerPoint embedded in it, you can edit and click the 3 dots in the top right-hand corner and send it to yourself.
Mhm.
And that way you can access it across courses.
Okay.
I believe you can send it to another course, and that way you don't have to upload it again.
Okay.
I hope that was helpful.
I try. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions?
I'm glad to see that the file now open. Thank you, Kristen and Lemia.
Okay, so Word and PowerPoint, the menus are pretty much essentially the same. So I want to show you both of them. So let me go over to Word. Okay. And everybody can see my Word document here, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So usually when you open up Word, you're on the Home tab here, and you're like looking around, where's my accessibility checker? Usually it's under the Review tab. And I happen to have added it here, but it wasn't there when I began. This is a new PC. They re-imaged it after Rhonda left, so I guess some things just weren't set up. So what you do is you come over to your bar up here and right click on it and say customize the ribbon. Then this is the ribbon. And under here, it lists all your commands. Now this is just popular commands. I would go and say all commands, and it lists absolutely everything.
Mhm.
And then scroll down for check accessibility. And I've already added it, so you don't see it over here on the left, but it's over here on the right. Now, and I put it here along with the navigation pane, which is very handy. But I just put them here because, I had a bit of difficulty getting it down here in any other, in a better place. So I created its own little tab down here. I created a new tab and then added accessibility to the tab, and then I add navigation pane to the new tab.
Mhm.
So that was all I did to get it in its own little box up here on the left. Okay. So now that you have them up here, there's two things you can do. And let me show you the first one. This navigation pane, it's a neat little trick. You can show the navigation pane and you can see like your headers here, pages, results, but the headings here, you can see that this heading is not as indented as task list heading. So that's a clue that this is an H1 heading and this is an H2 heading, because as you make H1, H2, H3, you'll see them indent further and further to the right. So you basically know these are out of order.
Frank, would you mind zooming in on the Word document a little more?
Zooming in. Okay, I haven't done that in Zoom. How would
Down there on to the left, to the right, you can see this says 100%. You can.
Oh, you mean the
Yeah,
document?
just make
Oh,
it bigger. Yeah, perfect.
yeah.
Super.
I thought you meant this little navigation window.
Oh, sorry about that.
Yeah, no problem. But so this is going to be an H2 header, I think. If I go back to home, H2 heading. If I look up here, I see H2 heading. If I highlight this guy, I see it's an H1 heading. You know these are out of order.
Mhm.
And a good way to look for headings out of order is to check this navigation pane. So that's very handy. Instead of, scrolling through and highlighting each one and trying to check, and it's a little tedious. So that's a little handy tool. The other thing is with the check accessibility, it shows up on the right side and it's going to find the problems that you have inside your document. Now, on this drop down, let's see, is it here? Sorry. Okay. Never mind that for a minute. But so you can click on these and see what's under it, like missing alt text. There's 2 down here. So picture 2, if I click on picture 2, it's going to show me this lorem ipsum box. And it's missing alt text. So
I think it was under format picture if you were trying to add the alt tag.
yeah. I'm getting there. Sorry. I had the little black bar in the way that says, you know, mute, stop video, participate.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't see it up here. Do you know where it is, Bree?
If you right click again on the image.
On the image, yeah. Right click.
And then format picture.
Oh, I see. There, that's what you mean. Okay.
Yeah, and then if you go over to the image icon to the right. Yeah. And, oh no, sorry, I always forget which icon it is.
It's from the third one from the left.
There
Layout
it
and
is.
properties. There it is. Okay.
Thanks,
So
Brian.
title just, what's that?
I just thanked Brian for his help.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. So this would be whatever the picture is. It's a picture of lorem ipsum, right? So, you know, assuming it was some picture. And this table, same thing. It's under table properties. For I have 2 tables here. I have a bad table and a good table. And, you know, here's the difference. The bad table has 2 things wrong. There's a couple of things wrong with it. It has missing text here, a missing alt text. And what you do is you come to the table and you say table properties and you click on the alt text tab and you give it a description, a tile description. And then that error in the accessibility checker went away. And also, there's no header row in this table. So let's take a look at properties again. I'm looking for that setting for the header row. So jump in anytime if you want, Bree.
Oh, okay. So I think it's actually not in table properties. If you go over to at the top, might be review. One of these buttons will, okay, try design or layout. That's what I'm looking for, Matthew, the repeat header row. I think it's the other layout, Frank, under table tools to the right. Yeah, keep going to the right.
Under table, oh, this one here.
And then there's a button there that says repeat header rows to the right. Yeah. And it looks like Matthew was saying it was under table properties as well. I've always just clicked on layout and repeat header rows, but you can actually get it under table properties as well.
Okay. All right, good to know. I'm also a bit of a learner when it comes to things like this. But it looks like now there's no accessibility issues. So this document is completely accessible for our purposes. So it would be ready for you to upload into your class. Would be great. What else?
One question.
Sure.
What about if you save it as a PDF, so no information can be lost, and then you are going to upload it as a file and then use it over there?
Well, it would be good if you could edit your PDF with Adobe. It would be good if you checked it here and then saved it as a PDF, and then it should be accessible when you upload it.
Mhm.
But if you didn't, if you took a bad document and converted it to PDF, you'd have to have Adobe so you could edit it.
Right, right.
You couldn't just use Adobe Reader. You'd have to be able to edit it so you could fix it.
Mhm.
So,
Lamia and then Brian.
Yes, basically I teach math at Kiyomaka, so we usually use the equation editor, and also we use what's called Math Type 6.1. So are there any restrictions for us to like use Word or PowerPoint in terms of the math equations that we use? Would this be always accessible to students?
I think whatever you're typing in, whatever you're putting your functions into, as long as you run the Word accessibility checker or the PDF accessibility checker or the PowerPoint checker, if it checks out, then I think that that's okay. Brian actually might be able to speak to this a little bit better.
Yeah, one of the things that you'll want to do is use your math type and save it as a Word document. Once the Word document is converted to PDF, there could be issues with the equation editor, because typically most of the screen readers don't read math well to begin with. Nevertheless, when you convert it from Word to PDF. So I would say any STEM course, the best way to put your equations in is in a Word document and save it as a Word document. The true and the best way to make any sort of STEM course accessible is through HTML, because that's the one that's read the easiest by any document reader or screen reader.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for that, Brian.
that's great.
And did you have a different question or comment as well?
Well, just one of the things with Cyrus saying about converting Word to a PDF, you do need to be able to check the reading order, because when it is converted from Word to PDF, the reading order sometimes gets messed up. Plus the fact that Microsoft tends to put a lot of garbage in its coding, and sometimes that becomes problematic as well. So you really do need to be able to get in your alt tags, and all that other stuff will come over, but you need to manually check the reading order, because it will tell you in the accessibility checker just that.
Perfect. And would you, and Brian, sorry, I'm leaning on you a little bit here, but would you
All right.
recommend that faculty actually, put most of their content actually on a Canvas page, or upload Word instead of PDF if possible?
It's a yes and no question. Yes, I prefer most of it to be in Canvas, because then the students don't have to go back and forth. And what's really nice is within Canvas, or actually within Chrome, I can have students with disabilities, if they need it, use something called Kurzweil Read the Web, which is something I can issue, and it will read anything that's on the web.
Okay.
To them. It highlights, you can take notes, you can extract your notes. There's all kinds of really cool things. And then also built into Canvas is Immersive Reader, which
Right.
will also read what is there as long as it's a text page,
Okay.
which is really good. As far as documents go, where the students maybe need to, download it or whatever, Word is really good. It's less problematic for screen readers. I use PDFs because I have to cross platforms, and maybe the instructor has to cross platforms as well. So not everybody has Microsoft Word, not everybody has this or that. So a PDF can cross platform. It can do a lot of different things.
Okay.
The other thing too is, you can always go to openoffice.org. You can save documents as well using OpenOffice in different file formats. And if you're going to do it in Word, something that will always cross over is what's called an rich text format, or .rtf versus .doc.
Perfect.
So there's those options as well.
Right, and open office is free for everybody.
Yes, it is. Okay, so and if you have other questions and you can't get a hold of Bree or Frank, God, please feel free to contact me, and I'm more than happy to work with you as well.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Brian, for that.
My pleasure, and I will put my hand down now.
Okay. Any more questions?
I don't see anything else in the chat. I don't see any more hands, so I think we
Okay.
can move
Can I,
forward.
can I ask a question?
Yes.
In the heading part, there are some kind of a heading which you can encapsulate your text between two parallel lines at the top of the page. My question is, how can I change the color of the line without changing the color of the text? For example, if you click home, the tab, yeah. Then you can go over the type of the heading you do have up there. There are ones with the lines there. Go towards the right, please. Go. No. Maybe I scroll it down a little bit because it's been hidden somewhere.
Oh, something with like a decorative.
There you go. The first one and the third one from the top. Go up to the right, to the left, the third one. To the third, that's the second one. To down.
Down
one more.
Frank?
Yes. Yeah. You see the line coming up in here.
Yeah.
I want to change. I knew I did it before and I forgot. And I tried. It's tedious. If you know it how to do it, it's not tedious. For someone who doesn't know, it gets my nerve. How can I can reorientate the text to the right, to the left, that's okay. I can change the text, the color of the text, that's no problem. The line I want to have, either have it at one line or at both lines, I want to change the color of that. I couldn't.
Really, the only thing I know how to do would be to insert a line. Don't remember where it is.
Yeah, it's shapes, insert shapes.
Is in at the home tab.
Right there, Frank, insert shapes.
I don't see.
Shape. Yeah.
Oh, here it is.
Yeah, here you go.
Shapes.
And then there's a line.
That line right there.
So yeah, you could do it that way and then just change the color.
Right, change the color or whatever.
But you cannot go the pre-defined type of a text with two lines. You cannot go and change that, can you? You could go. We should have been able to change the thickness of the line and the color of the line. And not this one though. The one which is coming up with the heading.
Right. You know, I don't know if there's a way
that there you go. Up. That's the one.
So I want to say that if you just kind of highlight everything, before and after it and change the color of everything, It
Mhm.
should change the color of the lines, and then you can go back and just highlight the text to change the text back.
Oh, you think that can, I doubt it, you can do, maybe you can, maybe, I'm not sure.
Should we try it?
Please. Okay,
So
go
while
ahead.
it's all, yeah, highlight the whole thing
The whole thing
Okay,
and then change the color.
of the text?
Yeah.
nah,
Is it not changing the line? Okay. So then it might just be because it's a template.
Right.
And in order to get it to change to a different color, maybe,
Oh, look, it did it.
no, didn't,
no,
no,
I
it
think it's
didn't,
still blue.
no,
Oh, I see.
Yeah. I think you would have to do what Frank did and do a manual line.
no. Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
You see,
Okay,
I'm glad that
so-
you couldn't do it though, because I'm not, I feel more comfortable because that is not an easy thing to do. By the way, let me say.
It can be done. Okay, so what you have to do is highlight the verbiage. Okay,
Yeah, it
so
wants
go
to
ahead, highlight that. Go up to borders.
Oh, it's a
borders.
border. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, it's
This word.
if you go to borders, it down at the bottom, it'll say custom.
Where's borders at?
This right
It's
here.
next to the, yeah, right there.
Oh, okay.
Click on that, go down to borders and shading at the bottom. Okay, so now where it says color. Okay, click on whatever color you want, say,
Say red.
yeah, so that's easy to see. Now you see the very top where under style, where it says, yeah, click that. Then now draw the border that you want. Okay, over to the right where it says preview.
Draw the border?
Yeah, you just click
Yeah.
the boxes that you want to
Okay.
show up as
Yeah,
the lines.
there you
Yeah.
go.
Okay.
And if you do that, it should be able to color the box. And if you click OK, there you go.
Mm-mm.
So there's
Mhm.
different, but you
Mhm.
gotta have the right one up and it'll do it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
but you
Okay.
go to borders for that
Okay.
and custom.
Okay.
So I think, yeah, that's great, Brian. Thank you so much. So you
Okay.
would just need to make sure the correct lines are selected when you're under the
Right.
borders section.
Yep, I'll be
Right.
quiet now, thank you.
No,
No
that was
problem. No,
wonderful. Thank
That's
you.
great. You know,
That's
I wanna-
great.
Yeah, I just want to remind everybody that this is being recorded. It's going to be up there on the Canvas site too. So you'll be able to go back to this video and look at any section that you want. So, so no problem there. Well, inside of Word, there are only two things I wanted to show you besides that. One is down here on the right, there it says read more about making documents accessible. If you click on that, you can get some extra help. So that's very handy. And also, I don't see it up here, but there is a read aloud button. Let's see if it's here. I don't think that's it. I thought it said read aloud. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Is this it right here? Or,
Read aloud is in Adobe.
I thought it was in Word also.
It's in PowerPoint.
Oh, PowerPoint.
I noticed that there is a PowerPoint there. You can leave, have the slides and then it will read it out for you.
Okay. Well, we're going to go to PowerPoint next. We've pretty much covered Word and all the basics there. So
But that was very good. I always wanted to know that.
okay. you have another question, or
No, it's beautiful. I'm learning. I'm learning.
so am I. So, okay, so same thing here. I have an inaccessible PowerPoint, and it under the review, it has the check accessibility right here. Same thing, if you don't see it on your ribbon, you can customize your ribbon. Brings up the same window. Go to all commands, or what, whatever your choice is, and look for the command you want, and you'll just have to add it to the right side. It works the same way. So let me run this. Okay, and it shows up over here on the right side, and the same thing at the bottom of the screen. You can click on read more about making documents accessible, and that'll give you some extra help.
Mhm.
So let's see what I found. I found some errors and some warnings. Alt text, table 7. It doesn't have any alt text here. And of course, I'm drawing a blank again on where is the alt text for table 7 in PowerPoint.
Isn't it at home? Home?
Is it the same thing where you can right click on it and
Yeah, I didn't see any properties. I don't know if anybody knows where that is.
I'm checking out on my own computer. I opened up my laptop, so I'm working on 2 things.
Okay. Well, let me show you the rest of this besides. So I found table 7 with missing alt text, and the content placeholder, this picture here, that does not have alternate text. And then no header row specified, also table 7, slide 2. And the warning it found, blank table rows or columns, same thing. Go ahead, Brian.
Okay, if you right click on the border of your green table there.
Table.
No, go down to where just
Yeah.
click on that. Click on just click it. Okay, click and then right click again. Format shade, it should be under size and positioning. It's not there. If you click on the actual border itself. Yeah, there, now right click. Nope. Okay.
is there a way
That's
to
what
just
it is on mine.
double click in the accessibility checker side panel over there and
Yeah,
or right click on that?
If you widen the accessibility column on the right-hand side, it'll have a pull down arrow. So make that column wider. Go on the.
to make the column on the right wider.
Correct. Now click on on the alternate text one. Okay. Well, in my copy of PowerPoint, it has a pull down right-hand side.
Yeah,
Mine as well.
Up on the right, it should have shown there is an editable region, right?
Okay. Did you have format shape on that when you right clicked in the green?
Yeah.
Click it. Now go ahead and go over to the far right. There you go. Click it. And then go.
There it is. There it is, Brian. Oh, you saved me. Thank you.
You're welcome.
like I said, this is a new PC that just got re-imaged, and you know, my PC at home, I was doing work for this presentation at home and here. And this.
So what did you find? I'm sorry, what was it you find? What was it you're looking for?
Where to put the alternate text in.
Uh-huh.
And on that one, it's under format shape.
Right.
Okay,
So
gotcha.
just right click on it, format shape. That brings up this box on the right side, format shape. And the same thing, title, description. And you'll notice that, you know, that's gone. You click on the next one. And it also needs alt text. Let's give it some alt text. That one's gone. So table 7, no header row specified. I don't know if that's here.
I've always edited PowerPoints for accessibility right there in the accessibility checker.
Right.
The alt text is right there to the right.
We have the alt text, but I'm looking at, you know, blank table rows or columns.
I think it's because there's nothing in them.
Oh,
That's why
yeah,
it's saying blank.
blank table rows or columns.
You can go to the edit alt text.
Oops. Oops. Blank table rows or columns. I don't think that's what that is. All right. Okay, well, I'm a bit stuck on this one, so I think maybe we should move on from this. What do you guys think?
How about if you go to the edit alt text, select that, right click, go to the edit, select your table, right click. How come you don't have that? I'll get something called edit alt text.
Well, I had to go to the format shape to get there. Well, like I said, this technology, this PC has been re-imaged and things are not in the same place as in my old PC. So, I mean, that's my fault. You know, I probably should have checked before this to make sure that things matched. Bree, what would you like to do?
Yeah, I think we can move ahead. I think, you
Hey,
know,
Frank, sorry for interrupting, Bree, but if you look down, it says how to fix all the way down towards the bottom where it says additional information, why fix, how to fix, and it says delete unnecessary blank rows and cells. So it's just, it's saying that just because you have all those blanks in there.
Really?
yeah, I think
Yeah.
if all of those were filled in, it would probably. Yeah, it just went away now. One of them just went away.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Wow, look at you guys. Is this what you call a teachable moment or what?
Uh-huh.
No, this is great. I mean, because this is being recorded and it's my, you know, it's my first time doing this kind of presentation, but everybody that's watching right now can review it and pick up the content that you guys are contributing to. So it's really great. Okay, so let's see.
what I noticed that is it depends what format of the slides or the PowerPoint you are using. They are being differently pre-programmed to what opened. One of them at the top, it does have something called picture format.
Right.
And under the picture format, everything you wanted, Frank, is there.
Right.
But
Right.
now you don't have a tab under the picture format over there.
Huh. Okay, so what else can I show you here? Check accessibility.
I think this is good. I think we can probably move ahead to the next component. And we're actually at the halfway mark. I'm not sure if maybe taking a 5-minute break might be a good idea.
Sure.
Yeah, why don't we do that, Bree?
Okay, so let's take 5 and we'll resume at 2:10 and then we'll continue on.
All
Okay,
right.
do you want to stop the recording or?
I can pause it. Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
pause it. Zoom recording. There we go.
Okay, before we leave PowerPoint and we move over to a PDF, I said, somebody, very helpful person pointed out that if you select your table and come over to up to your menu, you'll see that the table tools are highlighted, design and layout. And if you click on the design tab over here on the left, you'll have your header row selection box and all these other choices. So that will definitely help you. Okay, so except for PowerPoint, let's go over to PDF to Adobe. There it is. I got like 10 million windows open. Okay, PDF is pretty much the same thing. Except over here, there's this bar on the right side. And you can see I have an accessibility checker, but let me close this real quick. If it wasn't there and you're using Adobe and it wasn't there, you could click on this more tools. And it'll take you to this window and you can search for the accessibility checker and all these options and click add, and it'll add it to the right side over here. Then once it's added, you can see other options that are down here on the right side. And what you want to do is click on accessibility check, and you can also do accessibility report. But let's go to accessibility check, and it's going to show you what all your options are. And you can create a report if you want, and there's different things you can check for. And then you click on start checking. This time it's going to pull up your results on the left side. So let's see, alternative text right here. Figures, alternative text failed. Nested passed, associated with context passed, hides annotations passed, alert elements passed. Let me open these up here real quick so you can see what they are. So when you're in here on the right side, on the left side, and you have these results that have failed, title failed, you click on it, you can say fix and leave as is or give it a title. Subject, author, keywords, whatever you want to add in here. You just uncheck these boxes and can add in the information you need. Click OK. And then it reverts to past. So, and as well as these other ones, you can see under page content and forms that they've passed. So they're not bolded. Let's see. Figures, alternative text failed. Fix. Image 1. That would be this image that's that's back behind us here. Okay. Fix. Give it some alternative text. Save, and then it goes to pass. Same thing, headers failed. You could skip the rule, or you could explain if you're not sure what that means, and it's going to pull up some help. And you can read about, what do I need to do to fix this? Appropriate nesting, same thing. Skip, rule, explain, check again, show report, options. Element 1. Show in content panel. That's probably a bit more information than you need, right? Sorry. Let's run it again. Color contrast. Well, here's the show report, the accessibility report on it, on everything it's found for you. Okay. All right, I'm a little stuck, Bree.
Yeah, I think the key takeaway here is just to use the accessibility report and go through, and it diagnoses those mistakes for you. So then you can go through and fix them. I think that's probably good as far as that. It's just a matter of fixing what's listed in the diagnostic report.
Right.
I think in the interest of time, I think it would be helpful if we show Canvas so that we can show the overall, like once you have everything in your course, the accessibility checkers that you can run to diagnose the issues and fix them.
Right, right. The only other thing about this is this reading order here. That's very handy, so you can check your reading order. So that's a good tab to get familiar with. But I think you're right, Bree. Since I'm having some challenges on the difference in the tools on this PC and my other PC. Let's move to Canvas because I only have one Canvas instance, and that will definitely work better. Let me pull up Canvas. Okay. Let's go into my Canvas. And this is a course that I created just for this presentation. And let me, sorry. Let me get back to where I was before I closed it. So there's two accessibility checkers that you can use in Canvas, and Canvas has their own built-in accessibility checker inside the edit window. When you come into the rich content editor, and let me show you that real quick. Drag this down a little bit. So that's that little human icon down here. And if you click on that, it's going to tell you if it finds anything wrong. Now, there's all accessibility checkers, they have differences. Some will find things that others won't. And there are some problems with this page, but the RCE checker is not finding anything. So I'll show you that in a minute, but let's get out of that one. And let's come down to this one, the second page, and edit it. Click. And it found that, you know, the text color, it doesn't like the text color. And you could see why, because, you know, you can't really read that very well. So it found this contrast issue. So that's pretty nice. So you can use this to fix it. You can change your text color right here and click apply. And that'll take care of that error. Let me go down to next page. Edit this guy. Same thing. Click on the little icon and it's going to look for problems. And right here it found that it doesn't like the image file name to be the same, you know, or the alt text to be the same as the image file name. It doesn't like that. So you would change this to, you know, bogey and call or something like that. I'm not going to save that yet because we're going to run another accessibility checker on it. And let's see. And you can also, you know, let me see real quick here. You check on this accessibility. The other thing that I wanted to point out is you can say this is just decorative. Don't check it. This is just a, you know, a picture of something that's unimportant to the class, right? Like if this was just, you know, a picture of a flower or something that has nothing to do with being an actor, then it would be unimportant to whoever's using a screen reader. Okay, so that's pretty much the built-in accessibility checker for the Canvas Rich Content Editor. But what we have available is we have Canvas Ally. It's Blackboard Ally that is pretty superior to the other accessibility checkers out there in a lot of ways. And if you go, and all instructors have this, we have given it to all instructors in the entire district. Every time you create a class, you're going to have the accessibility checker on your menu. And it's called Accessibility Report. So all you got to do, and it's really simple to use this, all you got to do is you're in your class, you click on Accessibility Report, and it's going to run, and it's going to tell you how accessible your course is. And this is really great. And you can, you know, you have a content view or the overview. The overview is great. You can see the easiest to fix items and the fix low scoring content items. And there are items listed below. So what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and fix this course right now to see how high we can get this. So it's sitting at 38%. And we're going to say, let's see, image does not have a description. I click on that and it shows me all my images that don't have a description. Now, for instance, this first one, I click on it and it says add image description.
Yeah, and then just something to note there, or you can indicate the image is decorative. So whichever applies to that image.
Right. And click on add. And now this image is 100% accessible.
I will
And-
say, using the Ally, it's so satisfying to see that like little rainbow go from red to green and you get that 100%. It's really cool.
Right. And it just fixing that one image brought me up to 46%.
Mhm.
And it took it off the list here.
Yeah.
So I'll just go to the next one. Bogey and McCall. Okay. So, you know, give it something that makes sense. You know, like the last scene of this movie, we'll always have Paris. Close. Casablanca. And this could be, you know, whatever you want to call it, something that makes sense for the screen reader. And it's going to say, okay, I like that. Close. 3 left. This would be classic Bogart picture. It likes that. Now, this sunset page, let's see, where are we at? Let's go here. In this week 1 color contrast, and there's this picture. I took this with my cell phone outside of the district IT offices one day. And if you go back to where we are, that's this sunset picture here, okay? So I'm gonna click on it and call it district sunset. If I can learn how to spell, that would help. Click add. But then with these pictures, it's got this South Lake Tahoe picture here that I'm not using, you know, and it's happens to be sitting with the other files. So that's something you have to watch out for. It's looking at these, you know, unused pictures on this list too. This picture is used nowhere inside of this accessibility demo. But since it's finding it, I'm just going to call it, you know, what it is, just to get it out of my hair. But you can also just delete the file if you're not using it. This is Emerald Bay at Lake Tahoe. And then 88%, I'm doing pretty good. Let's go back to overview. And there are a few other issues. HTML content has contrast issues. Week 1 color contrast page. Yeah, this is this one here where my text is very unreadable. So let's see what we can do. Now I could click on this accessibility checker again, and I could change my text to something like that, right? But let's not do that yet. Let me show you something else. And it, just so you know, this editing window is pretty small, but you can grab these little dots here and make it bigger. So sometimes I like to make it bigger so it's easier to see. And this is your HTML toggle. So you can click on this and it's got colors here, right? These are your colors that you can put inside that WebAIM accessibility checker. All right, so you could punch these in and then, you know, test the text and get the text that you want. Sorry.
I think there too, Frank, I want to say you can actually put color names in the HTML.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, you can say colors red, colors blue. You could do that. That's a pretty simple way to do it. But Canvas Ally found it. So if I click on this guy and I change my text, say apply, I'll run this again. It still didn't like it. Let me go there. Apply. It fixed that text that I had highlighted, right? So let's fix it all. Let's go in there. We don't like these reports. So let's click on this accessibility guy. We're just going to change it to a darker blue. Click apply.
Yeah, I think you're only changing one at a time, Frank.
Really? Yeah, it's not letting me do it, is it?
I think it might be easier just in the rich content editor just to highlight it and change the color.
Yeah, just do this.
Yeah.
And change the text color. Say, let's make it black. That's the easy way to do it. But, you know, the tools, they can work together too. So if, you know, you can do it that way.
Something that I'm remembering now is on your image in the bottom left-hand corner, you see that green kind of dashboard icon, and that tells you that that image is accessible. So if that image, if that dashboard was red, that would tell you that there is an accessibility issue there.
Right. Accessibility score. Now, the other part of that is up here, alternative formats. If you click on this, you can download this information in a different kind of document. You can download Braille for somebody. So you have these options here, and of course, there's help to help explain it more to you.
Oh my God, Frank, you're awesome. You told me today, which I've been looking for it for ages.
For Braille?
That was for the changing my red to green, and I always thought that why is it red and some of them are green?
Okay.
And I said, oh, you know what? Just ignore it. Don't look at it. You are just colorblind. You don't see that. Now I know that what they didn't have the. I had, for example, an image, and it didn't have any description. That would, or if I say that is as a decorative, that would do the trick, right? Instead of giving a name.
Yeah, I'd only give it a name if it's important for the reader to know what it is. If you have something decorative up there, like a banner with flowers on top, it doesn't need a name. Banner with flowers on top.
Right.
And I'll just add really quickly. Some faculty were concerned when we turned LA on that students would be able to see those green and red dashboard icons. Those are only visible to faculty. So you don't have to worry about students getting distracted by those icons.
Right. Okay, is there any more questions while we're here?
Frank, would you please repeat the last part? You were explaining how to download some stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Please, if you can, just repeat it fast.
If you look at your class, you're on a page, you'll see this little A with a down arrow. It says alternative formats. Just click on that, left click. And you'll see your choices. And so you can select, whatever you need. I need Braille, select Braille and click download, and it'll download this BRF version for consumption on electronic Braille displays. And, I assume that means a Braille reader is going to be able to read that, right? So somebody that's blind can actually read your text. So this is a really handy tool. So like I said, it's just right here, the A with the down arrow.
Thank you.
Awesome. And Lamia?
Yeah, I know that I asked this question about like providing students with the document as either PDF or Word document. And I remember Brian said it would be better if we put the Word document there. But sometimes some of my students would ask me also to provide them with the PDF version of the file. So would it be okay if I put both of them, or would it be distracting for the students?
It's okay. The PDFs are, either way is great, but the PDF can go across platforms. The student has an Apple computer and would prefer a PDF over a Word document.
Yeah.
So that's perfectly fine.
And also remember, giving students options is a really good thing. And some people, and if you go into pedagogy, people don't learn the same, so you're able to use different alternatives to help a student learn the best the way they learn best. So it's just something to think about.
Right.
Learning styles.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, so where are we at? Looks like we're at 88%. No, 99%. Okay. What do we got left? The HTML's heading structure does not start at the right level. Let's click on that.
Can I ask you a question, Frank?
Sure.
When I look at the accessibility score for the one of the file, which is mine, is this project number 3, 52%. And then it says that what is that supposed to mean and how I can describe, add a description. And I could not, I didn't have any description to that. And it's been partially is a combination of a text and the graphic. Oh, by the way, I'm teaching the advanced manufacturing, so that's why we are using lots of the text which has been and the graphic done by another type of a software, 3D solid modeling software. And it's not that easy to edit those and modify them. So when I bring it in, it gives me only 52%. And is that, can I just ignore the rest 48%?
Well, is it
clarity?
Is it a PDF that you're bringing in, or is it like a CAD document, or what?
It's a PDF. What I do is just I convert the graph from a TD from a 3D dimensional to 2D and bring it and encapsulate it with my text. Then I save it as a PDF all together. Then I bring it into the assignments.
Interesting.
It sounds like you need a long description, Cyrus. So for somebody who is visually impaired or blind, you might need a paragraph or two description actually explaining what that image is.
Is that true? That means that the software can, now it can recognize it needs to be done by more description to the image?
Correct. That's without seeing the document, that's kind of what I'm taking from it. That if someone couldn't actually see the graphic, they would still need to be able to understand the content of that graphic. So it would be a long description.
Would you like me to share my window with you to have a look at it? I'm looking at it now.
Frank, do you think we have time?
No, no.
We got 23 minutes, and we're almost there with our webpage. We could do it.
Okay, Frank, go ahead with your video, with what we are supposed to do today. If we got enough time to do it, otherwise, don't worry about it.
Well, yeah, me and Bree can stick with you at the end, and anybody that
yeah, sure.
interested,
yeah, that's true.
Stick around. So,
And Lamia, do you have a new question, or is that from before?
Oh, sorry, it is from before.
Oh, no worries, no worries. Just wanted to make sure.
Can you excuse me a second, real quick? Or no?
Yeah. Is everything okay, Frank?
Let me find out. Hang on, I'll be right back. Oh, wait, never mind. I hung up. Yeah, never mind. I was waiting for something that was important, but that's not a big deal. I'll get back to them. Let's move forward. So we're almost there. We're at 99%, and we have 3 issues. Like I said, back to the overview. 3 to fix. HTML heading structure does not start at the right level. Homepage and 2 of my other pages. So let's click on that. Edit. Now I'm going to check these manually because I had thought it was going to give me a way to fix it. But let's do it this way first. Heading 3. This is heading 3.
Yeah, I think here you always have to start with heading 2. So the title of the page is always heading 1. So the word home page is heading 1. So then that would be heading 2.
This is a Canvas specific thing, right?
I believe so, yeah. And so then what we will learn should be heading 3. So that should have solved the issue.
Let's go back and let's run this again. Home page. Back to overview. Well, run accessibility report again. Right, you're right, it fixed it.
Okay. Yeah, so you just have to make sure your first header is actually a heading 2.
Yeah, I thought that that was, Ally was going to show it to us, but apparently not. Heading 2,
Yes.
but this is a very good tip because you can always do it this way. Run it again. One more. Week 1, headings and lists. Edit. Right here, you can see on this one, this is a heading 3, and below it has a heading 2. Now, if I run this accessibility checker down here, what it found was something different. It found it doesn't like the alternative text here. So I'm just going to call it something different, say apply, but it didn't find the issue with the headings, you know, a heading 3 than a heading 2. So, you know, all the accessibility checkers are a little different, and some of them miss things and some of them do things better than the others. So
this is actually a really good lesson in making sure that you run both Ally and the little human guy on every page, just to make sure that we caught everything.
right. And let me show you something else. Just something to be aware of. Hang on a second. I'm looking on my little list. Right. Let's save this and then I'll tell you what it is. Let's go back to all pages. Headings and lists. What I was able to do, I was able to, it's not here now, but I was able to create a bad list right in here, right before, where I had, you know, 1, 2, 3, and I was able to find that with Ally, but this little accessibility checker inside the rich content editor would not find the bad list. So that's another thing. So, but you know, my example, when I guess I saved it too many times, and Ally or Canvas likes to fix things. So it'll, you know, Canvas will strip out your HTML. If you have some extra HTML in here, like LI again or something like that, and then you save it, Canvas will delete it, and then it's gone. It knows how to fix some HTML, so it'll just go ahead and do that for you. So it stripped it out. But the point is that Ally found the bad list, and all the other accessibility checkers did not find it. So accessibility report. Wow, look at that. 100% from 38%.
It's the best.
Yeah, see, and it's pretty easy to do. It tells you everything you need to know. I just want to go over here, funsies, and check it over here. Right, 99%. All I got to do is click on these 3 issues and fix them, right? And I can get to 100%. It's all laid out there for you. You really don't have to hunt for things with Ally. It's very intuitive. So now that you're back here and your course is all accessible, you can see that it's got the drop down, alternative formats. You have its accessibility score. Click on that and it'll show you things. Go to the other pages. Same thing here. You can download this in an alternate format. You have your accessibility check here. So everything's looking good. I'm not sure, but I think I'm out of content now, Bree.
Okay. Yeah, I think maybe I'll just speak to kind of my process as I'm getting ready for fall. I know that there's so many different accessibility checkers like Word, PowerPoint, PDFs, and then Canvas. I would say that for the most part, I try to just follow the headings, the reading order, the tables, try to get that all correct the first time I'm doing the document, and then put everything in Canvas and run Ally. Ally is really, really good at diagnosing those specific issues, and it will even tell you in this Word document, you have this mistake, and then you can go back and fix it. So it's not so much about memorizing every single thing that we talked about today, but more about taking the time and taking the care to run those reports and then fix those mistakes when you see them pop up.
Okay.
That's
Yeah,
just my
yeah.
little piece of advice.
Oh, yeah, sure. Let me go through the rest of the slides here. There's just a few more slides for content, and everybody can look at, this on their own. But same thing, video must have accurate captions. And
Can I have a question, please?
sure.
If as I explained before, when I have got 3 or 4 sections, they're teaching the same topic or the same subject, and in one of them I go to the accessibility and change and modify and then make the, just resolve the issues and becomes 100%. And if I do not wish to have all of them spending time to do it one by one, is there any way I can do one and that will go and copy or reflect, I would say, the modification to the next session, or there is no way I can do that?
Well, if you run Ally on a course and then you copy that course, the changes will go with it.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so you could, what happens is you copy your course, old course to your new course, and then it takes a little bit of time because it's got to regenerate. So,
Right.
You copy it over, and if you ran Ally right at that moment,
I never done the Ally before. So
Right.
Bree, is it possible that you set up a course for us? I mean, for the college at a little bit of high level using the Canvas in the class, and which is going to be a little bit more than the straightforward type of the assignments we do have, or is not?
Yeah, I actually ran a humanizing online teaching and learning class this summer. And faculty really loved it. It's more geared toward video creation, more advanced kind of multimedia use in your courses. So I can run that again. If you're interested in a deeper dive or a more hands-on accessibility training, I'm happy to put something together for that as well. So whatever the faculty want, I'm happy to supply.
If you could possibly, I'm not sure is it possible or not, that part of what you taught today, this summer, which based on that aligning things as Frank was mentioning, and send it to me, email it to me, I would be very grateful, so I can look at that and to see how I can have all the material prepared for one course. I do not have to go and upload it as a file, go to the assignments, have that done as a insert file or something like that, and that would be great help to me.
Yeah, so
because it's time consuming.
So Cyrus, I just want to make sure I'm understanding your what you want. So are you asking for resources for how to copy content from one course to another and one semester to another?
Exactly, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, those are just some guides I can send you. I'm happy to send that out.
Thank you so much. Very grateful. Very grateful.
Right. Okay, and if you copy a course that you run Ally on and you make a new course from that content, the accessibility checking content should go with it.
Oh, wow, excellent.
Yeah, if you're at Cuyamaca or you're at Grossmont, but if you want to take a course and you export a course from here and take it to San Diego State,
Yeah.
the Ally changes will not go.
No.
So
But
you'll have to learn
I know, I
Ally over
understand,
there.
I understand that these are two different courses I'm teaching. But what happened is, I do have, as a matter of fact, courses which they are identical at Cuyamaca.
Right.
But the two of them, for example, Engineering 125 and CAD 125,
Right.
there are the same species. So I want to have one upload and modified and make the corrections and go through the accessibility and check that. And then, as you mentioned it, I can go ahead and align that to next course, and that would be perfect for me.
Okay.
Yeah, so Cyrus, I just put a page in the chat that walks you through how to copy content from one semester to the next.
Mhm.
So that should be helpful. And then I can also put together some other resources for copying content across courses. And I think earlier in this presentation, I want to say I put another link in here. I'll try to find it towards the top.
Guide for sharing pages with
The
yourself.
guide, yeah, the guide for sharing pages.
Yeah, it's there.
I'll go ahead and put it at the bottom again. And then I'll also throw into the chat a link for requesting that we cross list your courses so that if you are teaching more than one of the same course, you can teach them both from the same Canvas shell. So you don't have to manage more than one shell for the same course.
Beautiful. Thank you
And
so much.
what's cool about that is students will still see only their peers in their section that they signed up for.
Mhm.
But you will get to see, if say you have 30 in each class, you'll see all 60 in the same class.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I love doing that. It cuts down on sending out announcements and all that
Oh
other
yeah,
stuff.
definitely, definitely. You know, in Cal State, I got 5 classes. They are exactly the same, exactly the same. So basically, it's up to now. What I do, I create one, and then I have to go upload it to the file. Then I have to create the assignments and put exactly that. My job will be 5 times more than if I could do it chop.
So I'm putting in the Canvas request forms.
Do me a favor. Could you put me your email as well?
Yeah.
So I can go. I really sometimes I be a very nuisance person, and because when I know someone who can help me, I'm not letting it go away.
Sure.
And
that's what we're both here for. So absolutely.
Yeah.
Frank and I both also have appointment scheduler links available in our email signatures. So you can always schedule a one-on-one appointment with either of us to ask any questions that you have as well.
Super. It couldn't be better. Wow. Guys, I have to give you a Nobel Prize or something else. What else I can give it to you? I can give you a seriously, it's awesome.
Thank you.
Because sometimes the thing you've got to go and dig out tons of things of materials to find out what's going on, and then you can really help us on that part, and it's gonna be awesome.
Thank you so much, Cyrus.
Well done, you guys.
Thanks, Mary. We appreciate it.
More than well done.
Well, we got 6 minutes. Let me go through the rest of the slides real quick, just to talk to you guys.
I thought you're gonna do a little bit of exercise and breathe and get all those anxiety out of your system, Frank.
Right. Well, yeah, I'll have half an hour till I have a in-person meeting. So yeah, that's okay. But the rest of the requirements, video, the videos have to be captioned, and they got to be accurate captions. And you guys can watch this Canvas accessibility video from Foothill College on your own, since we only got a couple of minutes.
Yeah, and a shameless plug, we're doing a Canvas Studio workshop this Thursday at 9, and we will be going over captions in that workshop as well.
What
Great.
time? We on Thursday at what time?
Thursday at 9 a.m. We're doing a Canvas Studio workshop.
Yes, yeah. I enrolled for that.
Awesome.
Okay, great. Zoom transcripts down at the bottom of the screen in a red box. You can see you can generate audio transcripts inside of Zoom. That's available to you. This is what Bree's going to be talking about on Thursday. I'll be there also. That you can generate captions inside of Canvas Studio. YouTube, you can generate captions in YouTube, but you really need to edit it. YouTube is not that great. It will even change some words on you. It depends on how, whatever it uses to generate captions is not the greatest tool. So, but you have to really check your captions from YouTube. Audio files also need transcripts. And flashing content, just don't use flashing content. That's the main point. And, you know, unless you really have to for, you know, some reason, and you don't want to give anybody, you know, seizures or anything like that. Live captions. You can do live captioning in Zoom meetings. So autoplay. You don't want to autoplay things. If you have to autoplay something, give them the option to stop it after about 3 seconds. And remember that your students, you know, do access to classes using cell phones. So check your class with the Canvas app that you can download to your phone, and make sure that everything's accessible and everything that's very usable, that there's, you know, no gotchas before your class starts. It's always a good idea. And just some helpful tips. You know, make checking accessibility a part of your workflow. You create a Word document, run the accessibility checker. It's not that difficult. Once you do it a few times, it's pretty easy, and then you know, just move forward. And then at the end of this presentation, which you all have, there's a lot more links here, and some of the links we've seen already about you know, getting help. My link is up there, Breeze is up there, DSPS, and second page with more of the links. And that's it. That's pretty much everything I got.
Thank you everyone so much for coming. If there's any questions we can answer in the last couple of minutes, we're happy to do so. But thank you all so much.
My question needs more than a couple of minutes, so I'm gonna contact you, Bree. Thank you very much.
Okay,
That was
wonderful.
great.
Thank you, Cyrus.
Thank you. Frank, you did a good job. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Had a couple of gotchas, but you know, all in all, yeah, it went pretty well.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank
I'm
you.
going to stop
Great.
the
Thank you.
recording.